Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we will commence the meeting. Please kindly take your respective seats.
Yang mulia para pemimpin negara, pimpinan organisasi internasional, Presiden Dewan Air Dunia, Ketua DPR RI, para delegasi yang saya muliakan. Peran air sangat sentral bagi kehidupan umat manusia. Bank Dunia memperkirakan kekurangan air dapat memperlambat pertumbuhan ekonomi sampai 6% hingga tahun 2050. Kelangkaan air juga dapat memicu perang serta bisa menjadi sumber bencana. Too much water maupun too little water, keduanya dapat menjadi masalah bagi dunia. Dalam 10 tahun terakhir, Indonesia telah memperkuat infrastruktur airnya dengan membangun 42 bendungan, 1,18 juta hektar jaringan irigasi, 2.156 km pengendali banjir dan pengamanan pantai, serta merehabilitasi 4,3 juta hektar jaringan irigasi. Air juga kami manfaatkan untuk membangun pembangkit listrik tenaga surya, PLTS terapung di Waduk Cirata, sebagai PLTS terapung terbesar di Asia Tenggara. Yang mulia, Forum Air Sedunia ke-10 ini sangat strategis untuk merevitalisasi aksi nyata dan komitmen bersama dalam mewujudkan manajemen sumber daya air terintegrasi. Ada 3 hal yang Indonesia konsisten dorong. Yang pertama, meningkatkan prinsip solidaritas dan inklusivitas untuk mencapai solusi bersama, terutama bagi negara-negara pulau kecil dan yang mengalami kelangkaan air. Yang kedua, memberdayakan hydrodiplomasi untuk kerjasama konkret dan inovatif, menjauhi persaingan dalam pengelolaan sumber daya air lintas batas. Yang ketiga, memperkuat political leadership sebagai kunci sukses berbagai kerjasama menuju ketahanan air berkelanjutan. Dan melalui forum ini, Indonesia mengangkat 4 inisiatif baru, yaitu penetapan World Lake Day, yang kedua pendirian Center of Excellence di Asia Pasifik, yang ketiga tata kelola air berkelanjutan di negara pulau kecil, dan yang keempat penggalangan proyek-proyek air. Yang mulia, air bukan sekedar produk alam, tapi merupakan produk kolaborasi yang mempersatukan kita, sehingga butuh upaya bersama untuk menjaganya. Dan dengan ini, saya nyatakan sesi pertemuan tingkat tinggi Forum Air Sedunia ke-10 dibuka. Berikutnya saya mengundang Bapak Louis Fosiong selaku Presiden World Water Council untuk menyampaikan sambutannya. Saya persilahkan.
Mr. President of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Head of States and Head of Governments, Excellencies, allow me once again to thank President Joko Widodo and his entire team for the fantastic organizations of the 10th World Water Forum. Our world, ladies and gentlemen, is suffering, and so are its inhabitants. Our Earth is damaged, and its natural resources are in great danger. This situation is often due to our lack of awareness. We all want to improve this situation and the injustice it causes. And during this week of the forum, let's turn our dreams in reality. Let's go to the waterbed through our actions. Let's work together to cure it of all the ills we have caused. We are working for people and we are working for nature to conserve and to enhance biodiversity and revitalize the ecosystems that surround and support us. Excellencies, you hold the highest responsibilities in your respective countries, in the field of water as in others also. That's why we say to you here, with respect and consideration, that we need you, your understanding and your commitment, because water is politics, and in the future, water also will be hydro-diplomatics. And first of all, and that will be my first message, we need to identify better exactly what's happening to water in each of our countries. We are talking always about the climate, but the attacks on water, the lack of water security are also due to demographic growth, urban overcrowding, precarious housing, uncontrolled pollution, and their consequences for public health. The main cause of immigration in the world is from the countryside to the cities, which are becoming more and more huge reservoirs of poverty where hunger and disease reign. Excellencies, urban sprawl is not inevitable. We must first restore the essential services of water and energy to rural areas where half of the humanity now lives. And in practical terms, this means adapting water resources, distributing access to water, and implementing sanitation through the country. Technical solutions are known and are available to you. And if necessary, our World Water Council is there to make them known and to encourage exchange. My second message concerns the financing of water. Since the Dakar Forum 2 years ago and again today in Bali, we have been calling for the water debt to be waived for the poorest countries and cities. We want your help to ensure that a significant proportion of the various climate funds are directly earmarked for access to water sanitation and the repair of water-related disasters, droughts, and floods. Join our Money for Water coalition to help solve this financing problem. And the third message is to support the horizontal approach through the Five Fingers Alliance: water, energy, health, food and education, in innovation, financing and governance. It's by linking essential basic services that we make progress against poverty and for prosperity. And my last message concerns governance. Governance should guarantee an equitable responsibility shared between the states, between the basins, and between local authorities, because time of centralism is over. At international level, please call for water priority based on multilateral cooperation, and it's essential for strengthening the rules of mediation for rivers, lakes, and basins. Through hydro-diplomacy, as I've said, bringing peace to the banks rather than wars to the river. So you understand my call. You also, all together, could be water warriors. And I believe that in this way, through dialogue and sharing, that the future of water for prosperity and peace will be written. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih Yang Mulia. Selanjutnya saya mengundang Yang Mulia Denis Francis, Presiden Majelis Umum PBB ke-78 untuk menyampaikan pidatonya. Yang Mulia dipersilahkan.
Your Excellency Joko Widodo, President of the Republic of Indonesia, Excellencies, the heads of state and government, honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to join you here today in this beautiful city of Bali to participate in the 10th World Water Forum. I extend my gratitude both to the government of Indonesia and to the World Water Council for co-hosting this most important convocation and for their gracious invitation. Let me also express my deep appreciation to the authorities and people of Indonesia for their gracious hospitality and for the warmth of their reception, so expertly on display last evening at the welcome dinner, featuring the vivacious energy and dynamism of the youth of this richly diverse nation. Your exemplary leadership in championing the global water agenda recognizes that although water manifests through its availability or lack thereof locally, it is, in fact, a global resource gifted to us by nature, the distribution of which is a matter of geography and climate, and increasingly, in contemporary times, a matter of climate change. As we convene amidst the lush green landscapes and seascapes of enchanting Bali, inevitably we are reminded of the very essence of water as the source of all life on this planet, and indeed as a lifeline that transcends borders, cultures, and belief systems. Under the theme, Water for Shared Prosperity, we gather to deliberate on practical ways to foster better, efficient, and integrated management of the planet's increasingly scarce water resources in order to drive and support sustainable development rather than impairing it. Building upon the impressive momentum achieved during the March 2023 UN Water Conference, which mobilized more than 800 commitments compiled through the Water Action Agenda, I am hopeful that this forum will meaningfully boost progress in international cooperation and in the formulation and implementation of concrete actions to stabilize the medium to long-term availability and management of water, and indeed of the intergovernmental relationships that are key to guaranteeing sustainable outcomes. It is important that our efforts to better manage water resources are synergized with the broader agenda of achieving all 17 Sustainable Development Goals, all of which will be impacted by the availability of water. Excellencies, the indisputable reality is that we are facing a myriad of interconnected and complex challenges, among them climate change and water scarcity, and in many cases across the globe, water contamination, which itself imposes the additional problem of challenges to health and possibly, therefore, to life. Pragmatism dictates that as an international community, we do everything necessary and desirable to avoid water becoming a flashpoint for disagreement and open conflict. Bearing in mind that we are living at a time when the ease with which peace can be disrupted, and once disrupted, the difficulty of restoring it, it suggests that we must take all necessary precautions to avoid further imperiling it. Investment in water is therefore investment in sustainable development, but investment in global water cooperation constitutes an investment in peace, as indeed in the long-term stability of the water supply. Success therefore demands that we unite in common cause and act strategically to surmount these challenges and to fortify and guarantee our resilience, recognizing that water cooperation initiatives are absolutely essential to creating a world of prosperity that is at the same time water secure and peaceful. Over the coming days, let us address the bottlenecks in our implementation and explore innovative solutions that harness the transformative power of water as a catalyst for peace, solidarity, and shared prosperity. Through its 6 sub-themes, this forum affords us an opportunity to take stock of our progress, raise awareness, and exchange views on how best to leverage water as a driver of sustainable development, rather than as a driver of conflict and confrontation among states. One definitive approach lies in collaborative innovation, which holds huge potential for unlocking the full potential of our water's resources. By adopting innovative financing models and leveraging technological advancement, we can enhance our capacity to manage food and energy consumption sustainably, thereby also paving the way for a brighter future for generations to come. I urge each and every one of you to seize the opportunity before us, to forge connections, share insights, and galvanize collective action towards building a water-secure and sustainable world. Mindful that in many parts of the world, the ocean and seas are the main supply of water, we must pay attention to the condition and circumstances of our oceans. In this regard, I should like to emphasize that as a cornerstone of my presidency of the General Assembly, I decided to spotlight the dire threats posed by sea level rise. This looming specter represents not merely a challenge, but a real threat to the safety, security, and indeed survival of small island developing states and low-lying coastal communities. What is at stake could well be the inundation and loss of territory on the part of these vulnerable countries, not to mention the potential loss of culture and heritage that would accompany their submergence. Given the fragile nature of these economies and the fact that they did not cause the problem of climate change, it seems correct as a matter of ethics and principle that they should receive the support and cooperation of the international community in coping with the challenges resulting from sea level rise. At my initiative, the General Assembly has taken bold and decisive action towards building momentum on urgent and targeted redress, notably through the decision to convene a high-level plenary meeting on sea level rise on September 25, 2024. My hope is to see today's Water Forum outcomes being leveraged at this high-level plenary meeting and the much-anticipated Summit of the Future also in September. Let us seize upon these momentous events as clarion calls to action, igniting decisive measures to champion our water agenda while also combating the imminent crisis of sea level rise. Ladies and gentlemen, as I close, let us draw inspiration from the Balinese philosophy and channel the spirit of Tri Ita Karana throughout the World Water Forum, recognizing that water is not only a source of physical sustenance, but also a sacred element that binds humanity to the rhythms of nature, also fostering harmony between humanity and the environment. Together, in harmony with ourselves and our environments, we can overcome the challenges we face and navigate towards a secure future where water becomes a true source of solidarity, unity, prosperity, and peace. I look forward to the outcomes of this forum and retain high confidence in its significant contribution to the UN water agenda, particularly in informing the deliberations leading up to the UN Water Conference scheduled for 2026. I thank you.
Terima kasih, Yang Mulia. Selanjutnya saya mengundang Yang Mulia Antonio Guterres, Sekretaris Jenderal PBB untuk menyampaikan pidato melalui video message. Yang Mulia, saya persilahkan.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I thank the government of Indonesia and the World Water Council for organizing this important gathering. Water is life. It is central to healthy people, ecosystems, and biodiversity. And as this year's theme reminds us, water is key to our shared prosperity. Yet, water is under threat. Needless competition, mindless consumption, and reckless pollution are draining and poisoning the world's lifeblood. Climate change is pushing water temperatures to deadly new highs. Glaciers are melting, seas are rising, and river flows are shrinking. And people will pay the price in droughts, ruined crops, malnutrition, disease, and disasters. Governments around the world are waking up to this crisis. This forum is a critical opportunity to discuss solutions around water and sanitation, disaster risk reduction, governance, finance, and innovation. The United Nations stands with you in these efforts. Following last year's UN Water Conference, we launched the UN system-wide strategy on water and sanitation in July. The UN Water Conferences in 2026 and 2028 will be milestone moments for the world to carry this work forward. We need to put water at the center of all our efforts on climate, biodiversity, and sustainable development. Let's work as one to give this vital issue the attention it needs. Let's take action for water, and I thank you.
Terima kasih Yang Mulia. Yang Mulia, kita telah mendengarkan pandangan dari PBB dan perspektif yang lebih luas. Tentu sangat diperlukan termasuk dari parlemen sebagai wakil rakyat. Pada kesempatan ini, saya menyambut baik pertemuan yang akan diselenggarakan oleh Dewan Perwakilan Rakyat Republik Indonesia dan Persatuan Antar Parlemen di sela-sela Forum Air Sedunia ke-10. Untuk itu, selanjutnya saya mengundang Yang Mulia Ibu Puan Maharani, Ketua DPR Republik Indonesia. Yang Mulia, saya persilahkan.
Yang Mulia Presiden Republik Indonesia, Bapak Joko Widodo, Yang Mulia para pemimpin negara dan pemerintah, yang terhormat Presiden World Water Council, yang terhormat para menteri, kita duduk bersama untuk satu tujuan, yaitu merespon berbagai tantangan global yang tidak pernah terjadi sebelumnya. Mulai dari kelangkaan air, banjir, kekeringan, kebakaran hutan, hingga kekurangan gizi, dan berbagai persoalan kesehatan lainnya. Ancaman krisis air juga telah lebih nyata, bahkan menjadi sleeping crisis. Organisasi PBB untuk lingkungan mencatat lebih dari 50% penduduk dunia sedang menghadapi kekurangan air setidaknya 1 kali dalam sebulan. Namun demikian, perhatian masyarakat internasional saat ini lebih fokus pada isu geopolitik, persaingan kekuatan, dan kompetisi ekonomi, bukan pada isu ketahanan air. Studi terbaru menunjukkan peningkatan signifikan belanja militer hingga mencapai 2,4 triliun US dollar pada tahun 2023. Jumlah itu mencapai 2,3% PDB global. Pada saat yang sama, pengeluaran sektor air di negara berkembang dan negara miskin hanya 0,5% dari PDB negaranya. Nampaknya kita terjebak dalam kondisi misalokasi sumber daya. Ini sungguh kontradiktif ketika dunia dihadapkan pada ancaman luar biasa, termaksud yang ditimbulkan oleh perubahan iklim dan kelangkaan air. Jika parlemen dan pemerintah mampu meningkatkan pendanaan untuk pengadaan air bersih, maka persoalan kelangkaan air akan dapat diselesaikan secara signifikan. Parlemen dengan teguh mendukung berbagai inisiatif untuk air dan melakukan realokasi sumber daya untuk ketahanan air. Parlemen siap memainkan peran sebagai institusi yang mewakili rakyat untuk melakukan aksi demi menyelesaikan persoalan air di level nasional maupun internasional. Pada pertemuan parlemen siang nanti, kami akan membahas 4 isu substantif sebagai berikut, yaitu water as a deal breaker to achieve sustainable development, innovative practices for inclusive and equitable access to water, water at the heart of climate action and water diplomacy, cooperation, and science for peace. Komitmen parlemen terhadap agenda air sangat kuat. Isu air akan menjadi prioritas parlemen di dalam negeri maupun melalui diplomasi parlemen. Pemerintah dan parlemen memiliki tanggung jawab yang sama untuk mengubah kondisi kelangkaan air menjadi ketahanan air dan menjadikan air sebagai sumber kerjasama internasional. Akhirnya, saya mengajak, mari kita lipat gandakan upaya bersama sehingga hak semua orang atas air bersih dapat terpenuhi. Dan parlemen siap untuk menjadi bagian dari aksi bersama ini. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Yang Mulia. Berikutnya kita masuk ke sesi tertutup dan dengan hormat saya persilakan rekan-rekan media untuk meninggalkan ruangan pertemuan. Terima kasih.
Sebagai negara besar harus berani melangkah, harus berani memiliki agenda besar untuk kemajuan negara kita, untuk kemajuan bangsa.